Today, I stand before you with a poem that speaks not only just in words, but in truth and courage. We live in a world that constantly speaks of equality and inclusion, yet there are voices that remain unheard, hearts that remain misunderstood, and lives that exist between he and she. Through the moving words of Liverpool, let us listen to one such voice. Being a transgender. The first time I uttered a prayer was in a Class 10 cathedral. I was kneeling long after the congregation was on its feet. Dip both hands into holy water, trace the Trinity across my chest. My tiny body drooping like a question mark, all over the good and pure. I asked Jesus to fix me, and when he did not answer, I befriended silence in the hopes that my sin would burn and sad. My mouth would dissolve like sugar on tongue, but shame lingered as an aftertaste. And in an attempt to reintroduce me to sanctity, my mother told me of the miracle I was. She said I could grow up to anything I want. I decided to be a god. It was cute. I had snapback, toothless brain, used to skin me as a secret, played hide and seek. What was left of my goal? I was it. A villain to a game the other kids could not play. I was the mystery of an anatomy. A question asked, but not answered. Tie dropping between a good boy and an apologetic girl. But when I turned 12, the boy face wasn't deemed cute anymore. I was met with nostalgic aunts who would sing my knees in the shadow of their skirts, who remind me that my kind of attitude would never bring a husband home, that I existed for heterosexual marriage and childbearing. And I swallowed their insults along with their slurs. Naturally, I did not come up to the closet. The kids at my school opened it without my permission, called me by a name I did not recognize, said lesbian, but I was more boy than girl, more Ken than Barbie. I had nothing to do with hating my body. I just loved it enough to let it go. I treated it like a house, and when your house is falling apart, you do not evacuate. You make it comfortable enough to house all your insides. You make it pretty enough to invite guests over. You make the floor more strong enough to stand on. My mother fears I have named myself after fading things. As she counts the echoes left behind by Miahat, Lina Alton, Blake Brockington, she fears the tile without a whisper, that I'm dirty and watershed conversations at the bus stop. I am a walking casket. News headlines have turned my identity into a spectacle. Bruised there on everyone's lips. But the brutality of living on this body becomes an asterisk at the bottom of the equality pages. No one ever thinks of us as human because we are more wolves than flesh. Because people fear that my kind of gender expression is a trick, that it exists to be perverse. It ensnares them without their consent, and my body is a feast for their eyes and hands. And once they have fed up my cure, they'll regurgitate all the parts they did not like. And people still wonder why there are boys rotting. They go away in high school always. They are afraid of becoming another hashtag in discipline. Afraid of classroom discussions becoming like a judgment game. And now, oncoming dropping is embracing more transgender children than parents. I still wonder how long it will be before the trans suicide will start to feel redundant, before we realize that our bodies become less about sin, before we learn to truly love them. My prayers are now getting stuck in my thought. Maybe I am finally fixed. Maybe I just don't care. Maybe God finally listened to my prayers. Dear friends, being a transgender is not just a poem, it's a call for humanity. Let us stand together to preach a world where identity is celebrated, not judged.